Good day, viewers, and welcome to another edition of Edo Media. My name is Tenstan Ostadiaye, broadcasting live from Tel Aviv, Israel. My people, good evening. We don't come back again for another show. Today we get so many things to talk about, and as we talked last week, we will talk about politics, about the election, and very unfortunate, we'll get more things to talk about today. Apart from the election, we'll get another sad news and about the incident what happened for Lagos Benin Road. So we'll talk about that, and as time goes on before the program will finish, we'll also talk about our Nigerian handball players for Israel. So those ones are the topic for today. So my people, want to thank you for joining us. And I get online my two partners, Eda from Ireland and Suru Kana from Canada. And we also get our brother with the contest we talked to us last time, Mr. Jeff Odigye, they're online with us. So make I bring them in. Eda, thanks for joining us on Edo Media. You're on live broadcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm very happy to come up today. Like you say, there are a lot of things to talk about, and we hope say at the end of the day, we will come up with some good idea and good suggestions for help people to understand on how we can fit to help people for the election and the other things where they happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Suru Kana, thank you for joining us again.
My people were so it's good to come again and hopefully, like Coach Eda don't talk. At the end of today, we'll hopefully come up with something, idea and some resolutions to some of the issues we want to talk about. Again, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Jeff Iwinosa Odighe, thank you for joining us.
Good evening, everybody from Nigeria. Good evening, guys, and the listeners, your viewers from all over the world. I want to thank you for another opportunity you guys have given me to be in the program again today. I hope that you guys, everybody will enjoy the program and the piece of information that we have to share today. We'll be rubbing minds on different issues, as you have rightly said. So, meanwhile, I want you all to stay tuned.
Okay, thank you. So, my people, good evening. We don't come again for another edition of Edo Mondial. So as we talk, we get so many things to talk about, and we get our partner online and our brother online as well, Mr. Jeff Iwinosa. So the first thing we want to talk about right now is the election for Nigeria. Now we'll talk about first. Eda, this election where the council so for Nigeria, waiting the thing they get the way it be. What did you say happen?
Many things happen now. It happens say people who won see the election, they not see chance they still up. It happens say maybe the number of things where they want count, they never count and correct. But the real thing joke aside. It be like say when they talk of democracy, but like say we don't really know the meaning of democracy. For me, it will not be say the council election, mind they prepare me. But the council run quarter to 12 at the 24th hour, like we both people they talk.
Yeah.
And that one mean on that.
Okay.
We don't plan for this election for a long time.
Yes.
We don't prepare everything don't they. Why we not cancel this thing 2 weeks ago where we not say we not prepare? Why it can't be saying like 10, 11 or 9 they can't cancel and where the police station they open 8 o'clock in the morning? Why be say they let people where travel, go to various places where they want vote, travel first? So that one I don't understand. So I will leave the floor first, make our viewers and my cool Edo Mondial members say talk.
Okay. Okay, so my question now goes to Suru. Suru, what did you say happened? Obviously, they cancel or they postpone the election last minute.
You know what it is? From the way I see it, first of all, make this your outfit when you wear. I wish I could get off from you now.
Thank you.
That's a nice one, bro. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know that they talk about justice delay is justice denied.
Okay.
Before we even go that far, I know we will talk about again earlier on in the program about the pilot paper what they carry. You know, this one is one of those ways when they say like Edgar talk, they don't catch them for the things when they want to do, so they don't get way out to activate their plans. So they feel say they are losers. Those who are losers, we know them. So that's why the election, you know, so that is not part of our democracy. Okay. You know, for you just to cancel elections and the reasons they give now, we really don't. For me, I know we don't get it. So there's a clause there. You know, so let's see what happens.
Okay, thank you. Make I go back to Mr. Odighe. Mr. Odighe, I beg you did Nigeria at the moment. So you can tell us what happened about this this election they postponed so.
Good evening, everybody. Well, we are having filters of information from different angles, and there are a lot of speculations going on. And online, the speculations online is quite different from what the mainstream media are reporting.
Okay.
And when such things happen, everybody we are a lot of people will come up with different theories.
Yes.
So try to explain why it should happen and why it should not have happened. Anyway, from my own part, I think it is a very sad thing. It is sad because we have continued to fail. It is sad because we have continued to give the impression that we black people, Nigeria, and most especially the most populous nation in Africa, the most populous black nation in the world, that we can get our acts together. It is very sad because we are giving the impression to outsiders, to other people looking at us, that we are not ready to move ahead, we are not ready to learn.
Yes.
Africa is on its own. It's already in a pitiful situation. The Easterners, the Westerners, the yellow people, the green people, they all look at Africa with a kind of pity. You know, they are giving us so many names. They call us shitholes, they call Africa shithole, they call us monkeys and whatever. And yet we cry about all these things. And I've already been able to prove to these people that we are not what they describe us to be. We are being given opportunity again. How can we postpone an election that we know that will happen 4 years ago? As soon as an election ends, we start to prepare for a new election. Is that not? And the dates have been fixed. We already know the dates. And this very date has been fixed almost 2 years ago. Have been released about a year and 6 months ago. The date of this election. And for a year and 6 months, it is so sad that we could not even get our acts together so that we can conduct a history this time around. I'm not talking about a credible or not credible, a history election. When we say history, we're talking about everything falling in place logistically, that materials arrive when it's supposed to arrive. Officials knows and go to and their duty post when they are supposed to be there. That is history. Then when we talk about whether the process is fair, credible or not.
Okay.
I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I understand, but
so,
my question is this.
So
my question, Mr.
Now, coming back to your question.
Okay.
What has happened is where I'm going to.
Okay.
They have postponed the election according to INEC due to logistic reasons. What is logistics? Materials are not there. Some materials that are supposed to be in Benin was not found. Some materials that are supposed to be in Delta was found in Benin. Some materials that are supposed to be in Anambra State was found in Port Harcourt. You know? You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
That is logistic problem. And that is why I started by saying that history, everything that's supposed to be in place because we have been preparing for this for the past 4 years. Because we know after 4 years we come for another election. And the same INEC kept saying that they are prepared only to come and postpone an election at 11.5 hours.
Okay, Mr. Odigye, my question is this. How come this last minute notification of postponement of the election? Why is it that, how come this announcement came very late? That would be the question. Why they announced that delay? Why was it that delay? Because they could have done that maybe a day before or 2 days before.
Well, I think INEC is in the best position to answer that question. But from what we can see,
no, excuse Mr. Odigye. See, you did different from us because you be part of the people in the contest. You were the contest. You know, they don't give you any reason because I think they owe you an explanation for that.
Yes, that is what we are saying now.
So what will be the explanation? What did they explain to you?
Yes, the explanation is that it is logistic problem. And most of these materials, they call sensitive materials for election. Ballot papers, incidents form, they've cancelled incidents form now, result sheets, and whatever. Those papers that we need to use, that we need to print and all those things.
Yeah.
You know, all those papers that we are saying that they see their problem, they put it inside Central Bank.
So was that the part
you need to open it on that day, that very day,
start to dispatch. You start to see that the papers that we're bringing, you now see instead Delta states, enemy local government, Delta states, in Edo State, in Benin, and those papers are supposed to be in Delta State and not in Edo State. You go and see some papers you say we'll be talking about Niger State in Benin at that very evening, or that very evening. It was around 5 o'clock when agents and party agents and people now went to inspect the distribution of voting materials.
Yeah.
We now found out that when they open up the container and the bag containing it, break the seal, they will start to inspect. Now find out that there's a mix-up. What they brought to Central Bank here, for example, was supposed to be in Niger State. When you open the other container, you now find out something that has to be in in Port Harcourt. Where is Edo State zone? So these are the mix-up we are talking about.
Okay.
And it was widespread in different parts of the country like that. So information started to fly, and at the end they had to call an emergency meeting because nobody will go, first of all, without research sheets.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You cannot go to election. The result sheet is printed INEC research sheet for so word and so for every word has its own peculiar research sheet with the polling unit printed on it. You don't write it with pen and biro.
Yeah.
Printed out. Polling 01 was 10, but Nenemi Edo State polling 6 is at its own.
Okay.
I understand what they talk. But the point where we don't understand is say Nigeria big pass all of us. Nigeria is a great country. They not fit open those boxes at least 2 weeks to see say this thing in right order. Because this place where we did, I remember when I did work on one of the biggest retail company for UK. They send delivery go each of the shop. And before they do it, they open all this thing to see say the right thing, they go the right place. Why we Nigeria, even America, population-wise, land-wise, they be past us. These things don't happen. And we say we dey practice democracy. It never reach time when we will start to do this thing to look, say, okay, we do the correct thing, or people just want to use this to deceive people so that they get enough time to put in what they want to put in for the election. I don't know whether you understand what I thought. Yes, so thank you, my brother. That is what I said at the beginning. You know, this is the reason what they give. This is what actually we saw on ground. Agents, that was what was observed on ground. When they got there at Central Bank to inspect materials before they dispatch it to different local governments, we now saw that these things are messed up. Now, don't forget that before I started speaking, I said we all can start to theorize. Now, I don't think let's start to talk about the theory. Why should it happen? Is it a game plan? Some are saying yes, it's a game plan. The other one is saying it is the other party that is trying to read. They are not those two big parties, you know. I don't want to use this as a form of campaign ground now because this is a very serious issue. But it is so sad that we cannot get it right. It is so sad. So these are some of the reasons that make us to think that some people were actually planning. Because it's not the first time we are having an election in Nigeria. Yeah, that's my point, Mr. Jeff. This is not the first time where we don't get election. We don't do election for years. Why if you say that this small thing, now you can't disturb us this time around? That one I waiting we don't understand. That is what we are trying to look at. And that is why some of the theories is becoming very plausible. You know? So we are beginning to believe some of the theories that it was a game plan by some group of people. By some group of people who wanted to solve.
If I have to ask you a basic question now. From your perspective and what you did see on ground for Edo State, what will be the How is people reacting to this situation?
The reaction is very, very bad. A lot of people are disappointed. And somebody like us, people like us are not really too disappointed because we knew that some of this kind can happen for a government that has a very good record with failure. A government that has failed in all ramifications before now. So I'm not surprised if they fail in doing this very simple task which they have been doing before. So, but generally, the public, you know, the whole country has been grounded since on Friday, and we know what the country has lost economically through activities that have been grounded. The stock exchange, the banks, the people, the activities of the people. A lot of people have traveled, spent money, some have even borrowed money to go to their villages. International observers came from different parts of the world, and they're supposed to spend just 1 or 2 nights, and now it has been postponed. A lot of consequences are involved in this issue.
Okay.
The Nigerian government has probably lost over $2-3 billion for this single act.
Okay, Mr. Odighe.
And it's not a small issue.
Mr. Odighe, I have a question for you. See, the way things supposed to be, people who are responsible for this thing, what should be their punishment if there will be anything, any kind of punishment for them?
Well,
or they'll just look at like that's a mistake and continue.
The biggest punishment we can give to them is to hold our PVC, sack this government, and bring in a new government that will bet a new Nigeria. Because, like I keep saying, these 2 major parties, or whatever 2 parties people are always thinking about, they call themselves major parties or mega.
Yeah.
They are the same coin, different sides of the same coin. It's time for the Nigerian youth, for the Nigerian people to rise up and bring in people who have passion, people who know how it is being done, so that we can start to change Nigeria. These old politicians have failed us, and they will continue to fail. There's nothing new. There's no new idea that's going to come up from them. There's no fresh idea in them because they are sold in the corruption that the system that brought them up. And so we must punish these people by bringing ourselves together, joining ourselves together, and voting new people, fresh ideas. Dislodge the old, that will dislodge the old system, dismantle it, create a new one that will not make things start to work. Because everything is about system and processes. When we bring in the new people with fresh ideas, they will start to break the old ideas and sack the old people, remove them from offices. Because these people have a chain of friends. It's who you know that you bring into power. You know that.
Yeah.
When you're in power, you bring your own group of friends.
Yes,
whatever they call themselves, Jega and Co, that has been ruling Nigeria, their group of friends everywhere they are putting in place. They all belong to the same mindset, and they do things together in the same way. And we cannot continue to do the same thing in the same way and expect a different result. So we need to sack all of them with our PVC next Saturday.
Okay.
Put in a new party. And this new party will remove these people and bring in fresh people who they know that has the experience overseas and put at home, that has a different antecedent, that has something different to offer.
Okay.
And they do that from there we start to put Nigeria
back
on track.
Thank you, Mr. Odighe. Before you continue, may I introduce you to my audience for here? So those who are just watch us now, we get online Suru Kana from Canada, Edo Modia team member, and Eda from Ireland. And we also get online also Edo State House of Representative candidate, Mr. Jeff Iwinosa Odighe. So now those 3 people online with us. So Mr. Odighe, I have a question here for you from Egarowa Kevin Ipomosa. He says here, good evening everyone in this platform. I saw on TV that people were caught with thumb-printed ballot papers. I want the politician to comment on this, on that place. So he said they caught some people with some ballot paper, basically they don't print on. So you get any idea about that?
Yes, we saw it on news, on social media. Some people were caught, police arrested them, and they were all completed their ballot papers.
On what party was that?
Yes, the news outfit that they were completed for APC.
APC.
And they were arrested somewhere around Kano. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this that goes to show that that there are really people working behind the scene to rig the election, and that is why the theories that are coming up today, the different theories, about why they postponed the election, is not far from the truth. What are these theories? That it was even a deliberate. Some of the theories are that it's a deliberate attempt by INEC so that they can cancel the election or organize a staggered election.
Oh.
Okay, so don't you think, just a minute, Mr. Odike, don't you think when this kind of thing happens, whereby at the dying minute, INEC, which is that arm of government, when they're responsible for this election, when they come up with this kind of, startling news like this, say they don't cancel election, to me, I believe they're supposed to just resign and we'll get another new people that will fill in that position, because we now know that the INEC is even working with the government of
the ruling party. The ruling party. They're working in their favor. So, let's take responsibility and accountability for anything we do. Let them just go away, resign, and we bring in fresh people that know how to go about it. What do you think about that?
Yes, before you come in, let me chip in something.
Okay.
From our discussion yesterday and from what I'm hearing, the election will be cancelled by shift. They moved the election. Postponed. Yes. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is the election is moved to next week. So that point I need to correct. You can come in, Mr. DJ. Yes. You see, the election was postponed, like we have been saying. We know that some of these people, where the INEC, is an institution and it's supposed to be independent. In short, it's actually going independent. How far they are independent is another discussion for another day. So, but based on our laws, there's a minimum time. When you change the head now, what about the rest people that are there? People that are working in INEC today, because there's a time frame upon which you must conduct this election. Because the constitution says that you must give this space so that 90 days before the swearing in. So there's a limit. You can start all over again. If you bring in a fresh person now, who is not within the rank of INEC, it will take him a longer time to come to understand the mechanism and the workings. And don't forget, it's just like a team. If you change the coach sometimes, the players count. So if the players doesn't like the coach, they can work against him or in a match. So if you bring in somebody now at this point in time, this very point in time, the intricacies involved, if it's from outside, the intricacies involved, you might not be able to understand it within 1 week before the election.
Yes.
Then another thing, if you appoint somebody within the rank, how good is this person we are talking about within the ranks of the INEC itself?
Well, somebody has to take responsibility. When, for instance, if it's a soccer coach, immediately the assistant or train takes over. If a president of a country is not capable of anything and is impeached for one reason or the other, the assistant or deputy president will come in.
What we are saying is this: there are people in INEC, and INEC as a mini institution, we don't really know. And don't forget that there's somebody that the people have termed as a cancer in INEC, and that person is even supposedly niece to the president in the name of Amina Zakari. and he's also one of the directors there. So there's a problem here already created in INEC.
Okay, Mr.
If you remove him immediately, what is the credibility of the next person? Now, will it be accepted by all the stakeholders? You know, we need to look at the parties. Would they accept the next person immediately? Mr. As unbiased? If I understand where you are driving to, what you are saying is make these people finish this election before they afterward, then we elect people new to take over. Is that where you are going to? Yes, exactly. When we use our PVC now, we'll come out en masse, vote out these people, then when the new people come in, by act of legislation, when you have the new people, they will legislate differently and change the concept of INEC to make it better. Then the new people that will come in, that will say the new people, if the new party comes in now and win, then we can take all these people, investigate them, and hold them to ransom and make them to be punished. Then we can start to appoint new people, fresh people, who will now start to work. We'll have enough time to study the system, change the system, and bring in their fresh ideas, so that we can start to improve. It is so sad that we have been postponing elections. And let me tell you this, let me quickly chip in. Even as we are talking now, this election is postponed. The INEC does not really have the power to postpone an election. That is one thing. They don't have power to postpone an election based on logistic powers. Who get the power to postpone an election? Based on logistic reasons. The Electoral Act only gives them permission to postpone an election only on security reasons. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Or in the case of war.
Mr. Gige.
Natural disaster.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr.
Logistic is not part of that reason that was quoted. And there's no way we consider this as a similar condition to natural disaster here. No. Yeah, I understand. Make I go around. The four of us were there now. We don't live in a civilized world. You don't stay Italy, part of my Europe. Me, I did Austria, Germany, Ireland, UK, Suru de Canada, Tony de Israel. I'll start from myself before I throw the question to Suru, and Suru will follow me up, and Tony. I don't do Ireland here. I don't vote for Austria. I never hear things like this. Say the 24th minute they will cancel election. Start. Because the system, they will email your ballot, your election card come give you for house when you take go vote. On the day you will go there. Even what I don't for Ireland, and they post and come give us for house. On the day you go there. They don't feel just because they announce this thing almost 2-3 months to the day. And before then, they go walk towards that. And on the day this thing they go ahead, apart from when things a natural disaster happen. Earthquake or those ones where tsunami, where people nothing come off for house. Say because of logistic reasons, I never hear that one before. So I pass on to Suru, who does also spend a lot of time for Canada. Please tell us what he does out there.
Yeah, not true, my brother. I feel you. Not anywhere close where we all don't live before or even now. This kind of thing don't happen. Okay, so now the waiting at this start just now. When something like this happens, we all know what is behind it. Let's call this a spade.
Yes.
It's just an avenue for them to do something stupid because they themselves they are stupid. Okay, those leaders we have down there, they are a bunch of thugs, idiots. So they don't see where execute their plan. That's why they didn't care what is going to affect us, what we will go through about this. It's just out of nowhere, they come up and they announce say they don't postpone it. Come on now. So this is one of those reasons when I say, for us to give them another chance again, slight mistake again, slightest opportunity again to rig the election, and then we'll come the fight from behind. I think best offense is the best defense here. these people write the INEC, the Electoral Commission or whatever. Let's get it right before we go in for this very election. If not, whatever purpose that is do this thing, they're going to achieve it. That's all. That's my opinion. That's how I think about it.
Okay. Nitro, what you talk, Nitro? Mr. Odighe, I get one other question for you or for the house. My question is, you dig down now, you dig ground. Okay, you did witness what did happen. From your experience, you believe, say, the citizens, they don't learn from their mistakes, or they don't learn from the past mistake whether they make years back, whether they know they vote for money, or not, whether they know they vote for with money again. Because you did very confident, say people will come out, vote these people out, vote these people out. How sure is that? How sure are you?
Well, I cannot say that. I cannot tell you I'm so sure that they are coming out to vote.
Yeah, because the way you talk with confidence, you know. Of course, this is what we want, but how is the movement going right there in Benin or in Nigeria? How is it going?
That is what I'm saying. The people have been impoverished for too long. People have been in a situation where they themselves don't even know. You know, one of the biggest problems we have with such issues or with human beings is that, you know, the most of them even consider their oppressors as their lord.
Yes, I understand that.
You that want to free them, you that want to free them, you become the enemy.
Of course.
You become the bad person.
So what do we what do we do to change, Mr. Odighe, what do we do to change this kind of situation? What do we do?
We keep on talking. We should not be tired. We should keep on talking and never be tired. One day we'll start to get the sense into them. Because poverty is a tool. Poverty is a tool that they have used for so long against our people. A hungry man is an angry man. You know,
that's true.
You don't expect most of them with the level of education, most of these people with the level of education, with the high level of deceit and poverty together. It takes a long time to actually free these people from the shackles of bondage which they have been put by the same system that has never worked for them. And I'm telling you, when we go out, they keep asking, what are you going to give us? What are you going to? We tell them we want to bet a new Nigeria. ANN as a party, we want to bet a new Nigeria. My party is not after giving people money to vote. It is your choice. Remain in your condition, or you vote for a new change. Vote for fresh ideas. You just have it. So if you want me to give you money because you want to vote, then you don't have right to ask me if I have done something or not. So it's time we should get sense. And thank God we have been able to win over some core and diehard fans to ourselves already. Some people now even see our logo, no matter what, the new party, they will stop me on the way and say, yes, I know you, I've heard about you, I've heard about your presidential candidate, I've heard about your party, we like you. You know, sometimes they are not even in my own constituency.
Okay.
These are the messages.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Odighe, thank you very much. I will read the comment here, but before we proceed, I beg hold on a minute, I beg. Viewers, so my number did the screen there. Those who get anything to contribute, if you call the number there, the number is 00972 58 714 1675. I repeat, 00972 58 714 1675. So any person who gets what you want to contribute, so make call to that number, and if you contribute anything, you want to contribute. So, Mr. Odighe, sorry to cut you short earlier on. Before we go further, I want to put that aspect of that political aspect aside. We want to talk about the incident where happened today for Lagos Benin Road, because we did limited with time. So we hear some sad news again today. You know, every day in a different news. Now they hear we were there abroad. It did very, very bad. We see our Nigeria boy who come from abroad on the way home was shot down by how do you call them? So how do you call them? What do they call that?
These are government Custom officer.
Yes. Thank you.
Officer, but they are thugs.
Custom officer. Yeah. So you don't hear anything about that incident. If you don't hear about it, if you tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, we have been following the news since around 10 o'clock. I first got they first sent me the video around 10 o'clock this morning, and so we'll be following the developments. So it's a sad thing. I don't know. Many soul of the party rest in peace. But having said that, with all due respect to the parents and to the family of that young man, I want to just say that it is so sad, it's despicable, it is appalling. What we see today has shown to us that we have not moved at all, that we have yet to learn, that our government is actually decaying. Have you seen the statement from the customs? The custom has released a statement
that what?
That is so annoying.
Okay. What?
Well, we leave them for their investigation. But from what we are saying,
it's so annoying about what? About how one of their person responded, or how?
It's so annoying that they can come up with such flimsy excuses and flimsy, so scanty information, trying to defend themselves, saying that boy the man that was killed is somebody that they know them, that is one of the people that used to give them water from where they come to sell water for them to drink, that he was not a passenger, that the person that was killed is not a passenger, and it was by mistake that when those people were trying to prevent people, they trying to prevent custom officer from doing their job, that was when the accidental discharge that now killed the young man, and that young man was not even a part of it. You can see from the video we have all seen, it is so clear where the person that was. We can hear the voices, we can hear the cry of the people there. We can hear how, if that guy was not a passenger, how can a custom officer now be manhandled because of that? It was the same people that were inside the bus that were doing that, because they now braven up so that those custom guys they should not run away. Because one of them actually went to the car. There are about 2-3 videos of that incident.
Yes.
Different videos. One of the Indians went to the car, was about going away, wanted to move away, run away, before they were head down. You know.
But what about these custom officers? Are they still alive?
They are alive.
So unfortunate.
They are alive. They were beaten. 2 of them were touched. 2 of them were beaten, but they are alive. And that is why the customs spokesperson is coming up, that the investigation is on, are coming up with this different story. That is one of the guys, that one of these people that hot water where they used to see the person that was hit by the our government treats such issues with impunity. It's so sad that we still don't know how arms are being handled by government officials, customs for that matter, not in the war zone. What are they even checking on the roads? If they are afraid to check things on the border and they can't stop it, why are they checking on the roads anymore? Okay. Whatever is inside your country is already inside your country. Your customs are supposed to stay at the border points and make sure they stop it there. This issue of collecting money, they should be ashamed of it. They should be ashamed. And we're going to check these things by coming up with people with the government that knows that this thing is not done anywhere anymore in the world. No country does this kind of thing anymore. We must move ahead. We have long past the jet age. We have passed the jet age, but we are still acting as if so primitively. We look at things that is being done elsewhere, but yet we don't want to move. We keep on servicing corruption. We keep on servicing mediocres. We want to keep them because we want to make more money. It's at the detriment of everybody, at the detriment of the country. We must stop this.
So, Mr. Odike, thank you very much. You see, in light of waiting we see for video. You see these people talking. Whether this victim, before I start, may so rest in peace. My condolences to the family, and I hope God will give them the strength to carry on for this very loss. So whether this person was selling pure water to them or not, that is not a reason for his and again, yes, and again, now you mentioned one thing. These are border services agents that is supposed to be at the airport, at every nook and corner of Nigeria where the border lies. Now the goods come in, they chase these people because you see them, all of them are Obodoyibo, they are foreigners. They were talking of 5,000 contraband goods. And this victim they talk. We don't have it, it's been checked for, we don't have no contraband goods here. 5,000 with assault rifle. Assault rifle is supposed to be in the hands of the military people that is defending the country. Known for the custom officer. Custom officer not supposed to be a whole assault weapon. Again, this has just shown a broken system, lack of security. And now this one with the talk for Nigeria. Somebody is coming in 2 weeks span difference. Somebody came home to set up a business. As an entrepreneur, he invested and employed a group of people from Nigeria. They kill her for 50,000 naira. Again, because of 5,000 naira, which is less than $15. If so was taken on a brilliant daylight like this.
Okay. Come on. So thanks for your contribution. Eda, you get into one contribute to this same topic. Hello, Eda. Okay, I think Eda is out. Eda, my own contribution will say I not there for jungle justice, but this is the first time in my life that I already felt that those guys should have been given a jungle justice, because it's so sad to see such a thing live on the video. Say somebody go carry gun to shoot person because of 5,000 naira bribe. It did very, very sad. And I did sorry, so those guys, they feel go leave that place alive. So sad. Ed, are you back online? Hello? We're not to hear you. Something happened to your phone.
Well, my case is those guys, like that woman.
I bet if you talk louder, we're not to hear you well. I don't know. Something went wrong with your line.
Like the lady Good. I had starting on the video. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better, much better.
So, when I say those guys, they come from abroad. I don't know. According to what I think calculate there.
Yeah.
If anything won't happen, like Suru mentioned, custom not the go stay within Lagos Road. Because I not switching the one custom there.
Right.
This guy don't go through custom checkpoint for airport. So why they go to harass this poor man again? Every day I travel from where I did now. I travel almost 200 kilometers every day. Nobody they stop me say they want to fetch my car, they won't do anything. Why are we Nigerians? Why we they talk of democracy? It never reached time we adopt something where we not turn our policemen to thieves, where we not turn our law enforcement officers to thieves. How we mandate our law enforcement officers? Maybe they go street, go they harass the people. People not see food eat. Let me tell you, you coming here. You know that at every point in Benin, Lagos, that Lagos, Shagamu place, wherever, to Benin. Now, only in Benin, because of the money they are making, Ekiadolo Oluku, custom now made it two checkpoints there. They put one in Ekiadolo, they put one in before you enter Oluku again. Okay, where is our government? Because let me tell you what they are doing. Do you know that every month, what they give to them? I happen to have one brother that was with custom. Who told me the target they give to them? That Shagamu place is 21 million. 21 million is every month. It's a fundraising avenue. Wait, make I ask one question. They do not target every month from the custom to the boss.
When I ask one question, not the one that will go to the pocket. That will go to the
okay. Okay, Edda get question. Abemona, hold on a minute. Edda get question I want to ask. Abeg.
May I pardon my stupidity, our listeners and my co-presenters.
Yes.
Between Oluku and what you call the Ekiadolo, they get waiting they manufacture for that area where custom they go check.
No,
no.
So that is why I'm saying that the government of the for Edo State, the support that is their jurisdiction, now that area they cover. So this our so-called governor, when they don't even travel, go to people, they see them. So these people when they arm these thugs on the street to rob innocent people.
Sorry, Mr. Suru. Nigeria Constitution has made it impossible sometimes for the governor to act in some of these areas that has to do with the federal government. You understand me? Most of these people are also on what they call federal roads.
But they can write petitions, and we know that they try.
Yes.
Quiet and looking at things like this.
You can write petition, then it's a federal government agency. So your petition might not even be answered by the federal government.
But let people know that you show concern.
Okay.
Yes, I understand your point. The problem I'm trying to tell you now is deeper than the governor. It's deeper than the governor. It's a systematic failure. It's a deliberate failure. When we say deliberate failure, I'm trying to say that if people know that this thing is wrong, the federal government is knows it's wrong, but they use it not to benefit their own people with corruption, and they have to use it so that they put in their bad people that cannot perform. If the only way we can change this thing is to change the whole system. We have to change the whole system. We have to start to think differently.
And
we have to have a paradigm shift from the way we're doing things and start to do things the way it is being done in Senate plans, like you just rightly mentioned. Why should there be checkpoints? And there borders there. Mr. Edda has said that before. He travels here and there. We have been in Europe. I've never seen a officer man on the street. I've never seen a military man with a gun one day. Even a military man with a gun one day on walking on the street. This is ridiculous for our country. Ridiculous. I'm not talk less of a custom officer. You will never see. Anytime you see them, you see the military people, you see them in their van, in their big lorries, maybe they are going for training. Then you can see them with gun. They're walking on the street and with leg, and you will get carry gun. You don't see that. You can never see because it frightens the citizens. It's psychologically wrong for people, for children to see those kind of heavy ammunition on the street with people moving on the travel in the hands of family. It's psychologically wrong. Fundamentally, everything is wrong about the system. And let's start to bring people in who have seen this, how it's being done, that can think like human beings. Because right here, most of these people are not think like human beings. That's why it was, they said it's a shit-hole. Yeah, sometimes when we look at it, it's really worse than the shit-hole. Because when we start to think, start to look at the way people, the way the government is acting, the way the system we are operating, and nobody's actually aiming. Nobody's actually pushing for this issue.
Okay, Mr. Jeff Odigie, thanks for your contribution. I have one question for you. What after all these things we don't talk about now, all this problem here and there, we don't see problem full everywhere. What did you say be the solution to all these things? How will it take change on? Because it's not enough to identify the problem. We already identify the problem. The problem is there and it has been existing for years. So how do we solve this problem? What do we do about it?
I think before he answered that, let me just quickly say this.
Okay.
Mr. Jeff has been talking about this thing from the time we're having on. The only way to him, he think we can solve this is to get them out of there. Is to be able to bring in fresh ideas for these old idiots, these criminals, these thieves, these thugs, vote them out in any way we could.
Okay.
Get them out of that place, and then we give room to a fresh
So you said vote them out. I also agree to that. Vote them out is very important. But last time during our last episode, our last episode, which was on Thursday, right? on Thursday. So Elder say make people don't go out, go vote. Mr. Odige, are you with us?
I'm with you.
I don't know if you saw our last episode on Thursday.
No, I didn't know they were going to have an episode.
Okay, I usually come out on Thursday for pre-edition, but on Thursday we did something a little bit different. I think we're live for about 30 or 40 minutes. So we get discussion and this same thing come up. That's why I want really quick talk about it now. You know, so during our discussion, Suru say make people go outside.
I have to put a stick on that.
Yeah.
Mr. Odige, do you think boycotting election for everyone, all citizens of Nigeria, not to go and vote, do you think is the right thing to do?
Well, as Thomas Jefferson once said, former American president, once said that, when you don't participate in politics, you don't vote, you always give opportunity to your inferiors to rule over you.
Sure.
You understand me? So, boycotting election is a tool that you use, in a different climate, in a different circumstances. It's not wise in this our case as a democracy already established, and when we are trying to deepen it, we start to talk about boycotting election, giving them the opportunity to even rig it more and install themselves and give themselves more power. What we should be talking about now is mobilizing the people, making sure that everybody comes out full time. And when you see the people, by the time the people will see the people that are there, and with our PVC, we will make a statement. With your PVC, you are going to send a message to the world. And when the world sees our resolute we are, our resolve we are, that we are ready to push people away, they will have no option than to go. They cannot rig it at that moment. But when we stay at home, you're just on your own. They will just write the figures and say, good. And they will tell you to go to God. They have control of everything.
Okay, I totally agree. I totally agree to that. Okay, Mr. Odige, I totally agree to that. For me, I believe our people supposed to go outside, go vote, and we will try. I hope so. We will feel convinced them if they go outside, go vote, and you will dig ground too. I hope so you will still do your work, convince them if they go vote. I beg. It is very important because all these politicians, all these nuisance, they commit nuisance, and we need to vote them out. So my people, wait there online, I beg. When I get people back home, what are they talk to? May they go outside, may they go out, go vote next week. May they vote out all these useless politicians out of the office. So Mr. Odige, before we go say goodbye for today, make I ask Eda and Suru. Suru and Eda, I still get a question from Mr. Odige.
Yeah, I don't have a question. We're debating on this.
Yeah.
See yourself and Suru, you are coming out on the wrong side. Good journalism is putting someone right. And what I said is, if you think you cannot get the right person to vote, don't go and vote. There are a lot of people out there. You make up your mind. You don't have the right person.
Eda, there is something wrong with your volume. I beg. Check out.
I didn't say people should not go out and vote. Listen to that tape again. I said, if you cannot identify the right person to vote for, don't go. So journalism is about putting something right. That's my point. Mr. Jeff.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
I don't know if you got what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand you. I'm hearing you right and clear.
Yeah. So my something is thank you for today. And I really enjoy your being here every week. And we hope the election will go on next week as planned. And like we discussed up there, we will discuss it again with the other colleagues and see how we can move forward. Okay. So, thanks for today, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you whatever you guys are doing, and we pray that our people will listen to us, come out next Saturday and vote. We hope that this postponement will not lead to voters' apathy, and we are
hoping that they will be able to get the financial means to stay wherever they are and make their vote or travel the second time to wherever they are voting. Because some people have to travel some kilometers and it all costs money. And we're also looking at a situation where the government will look critically into this issue of killings by officers of law enforcement officers. It's getting too much. We are losing too many important lives, youthful lives, and youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you very much for all the good things you guys are doing.
Okay, Odigye, thank you very much. So you get anything you want to add to Odigye before you go drop?
No, really. I think Mr. Jeff Odigye has said it all, if not all. He has said most of what the people need to hear.
Okay.
At this point, awareness, like you guys know, Domodia is all about entertainment, sport, and culture, where we are bringing awareness closer to people. Awareness is very, very important to our life when we do so. Because if we are not aware of what is going on, there's no way we can act. So please, let's continue. No matter anywhere we do for the world, any of us, make we continue to educate those ones who lack this awareness, who lack this knowledge on what to do. United we stand, divided we fall. So again, thank you, Mr. Jeff, for coming to this program, and we hope to see you back again in the very near future. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Odigye, before you would drop, I hope the campaign is still on, right?
Yes.
Okay, please. It's still on. Okay, you're already on the studio. I think you should take 1 or 2 minutes to tell our audience or convince them to vote for you. It's very important. You understand? You should take advantage of this time that you still have. You still have 1 week. So let's push it because we really want you in that place. We believe in you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
My name is Jeffrey Mwinosa Odigye. I'm a candidate of Alliance for New Nigeria, ANN. Our logo is a lion, and I'm actually vying for the position at the House of Assembly to represent Ego constituency, Edo State House of Assembly, Ego constituency. And you have been listening to me, and if you come in late, you can play back the conversation. You have seen my own points and the way I think and what I hope, that kind of dream, hope that Nigeria will be, not for us, but for our children. Nigeria that everybody will be equal before the law. A Nigeria of equal opportunities for everyone. In Nigeria where the child of a nobody can become somebody without going through anybody. We are so pathetic about the situation we find ourselves, and we believe that we can get to where we are. We can get to the Nigeria of our dream if we vote out these old politicians, recycled politicians. They have done their best, but let me tell you, their best is not good enough. It's time to change leaf. It's time to turn over to the next leaf. Let's bring in new people, fresh charges, young youths, young people in their heads, with oil in their heads. Let them come to do it. Let us start to do it in Nigeria again. And let's get to where we become an enviable country where that will be looked upon by others. Thank you very much. Vote for me, for the constituency, and vote ANN as a party. It's a party with a difference. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Odigye, thank you very much for your time, and we wish you all the best, and we hope you will join us as soon as you get your position in the election, after the election. So thank you, and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much, sir.
Pleasure. So you can sign out from there, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for answering.
Okay. Hello.
I just want to add quickly.
Yeah, but your volume is very weak. I don't know why. Either we can't hear you. Something went wrong with your phone.
Can you hear me now?
Not that good. I don't know why. Something happened.
I don't know what happened. Maybe because the car.
Oh. Okay, it's much better now.
Next week we'll be going back to our usual. We'll just run a bit of the election results.
Okay.
Between a few minutes, and I will try and get one of those guys that played for Sanko Stars in their first and second trip to Sweden.
Okay.
So next week we'll be talking a bit about sports games, sports culture, how it was when we were growing up, what happened then. I think that will be the main picture.
But I hope you know we are still live.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So may I say one or two things before we go round up? Viewers, we're gonna do well for the patient for today. So we don't talk about those two things. One and the politics, and two, we also talked about the incident that happened between Lagos and Edo State. And okay, another thing we want to talk about now, we'll just talk briefly about our Nigerian handball players with the Israel, where basically their team qualified for the Israeli FA Cup finals. So that one will be one of the programs we will broadcast either in the next week or next 2 weeks. So we'll talk about that one. So Nigeria will go end the program for today. So I still get my two partners online, Suru Kana from Canada and Eda from Ireland. So Suru, you get what you wanted, the audience, before we round off for today?
Which you just mentioned about our Nigerian flag bearer when they play pro handball in Israel.
Yes.
Okay. So we support them in every way in prayer, and we hope they come out with the gold.
Okay.
So now this one I'm waiting. We want when would they hear about our country, which would they hear them, not our leaders when they're supposed to give us good things, they shoot us one by one, they rob us.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a vigilante thing for everyone to see what they happen. It could be you, it could be one of us.
Yeah.
Now that thing happened to again, my condolence to the family of that victim. May so rest in peace again.
Yeah.
So for me here, one love to everybody. Make they do good. Thank you.
Thank you, Suru. Eda, you get something to add before we go round up?
Yeah, just to round up, I just say thanks for Jeff again.
Okay.
And it's not like we are taking side with anybody. We did free. If they out there, you run for any position, if you want to talk to us, our numbers stay on our Facebook side.
Yeah.
Call us during the program, and we're happy to talk to you like we talked to Jeffrey. So not say we take side with one person or we love one person because of the way he attached to us.
Yes.
Now we stay attached to them. So we not care who we support. We not care who we sponsor. We be the unity for those and Nigerians that we stand for. So anybody will rock with us, we will rock with them. We expect next week, any of you out there, call us, we will put you on the show. So now that one just to add.
Okay, thank you. So viewers, we not do well for our time. We not do well. We don't finish the program for today. So as we do them always, we give special thanks to those who are there online. Those haven't see most of the names again. Jay, thanks for watching. Joy, 12 Watson. Thank you, Madam, for watching. Paul Ike, thank you for joining us. Omangi Joe, thanks for joining us. So those who are not see their name again, I did sorry, will not do well. Otas Ogboma, thank you for joining us. Missing good news, thank you, Madam, for joining us again. I think I can see one guy here again. Chuku Emin, thank you for joining us. So we'll come out again on Thursday for pre-edition, and now here we will say goodbye. My name again is Stan Usadiaye. So thank you guys for joining us, and see you guys next week. Bye and God bless.